Yo, are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? We get two. Christmas came twice this year. I can't believe it. We get another one. Guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Jay Jingles. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I have some amazing news for you guys. We just finished the Wolfie Draft League, the WDL. Super fun season. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. The matches were amazing. But like I said, Christmas came again, so we have another star-studded draft league coming out. Thank you very much, Michael Derbeste. The MDBL, created by Michael himself. It's gonna be so much fun. I think it's a shortened season. I'll get into the rules in another video, but in this video, what I want to do is I want to go over A, who's playing, and B, what they drafted. I did talk to Michael a little bit in DMs, and he gave me his blessing to kind of go over some of this stuff and just kind of hype up some of the matches, some of the players. I know it's got a little bit of like a format with like a soccer field, soccer feel kind of thing with like divisions and stuff like that, but it's straight VGC action in Draft League, Regulation F. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. Let's dive into the players. Who do we have right now? First, I'm going to go into Michael Derbeste. I'm just going to quickly go over the players and kind of what their accolades are and what they're known for, and then we'll get into the rosters. So first, we have Michael Derbeste himself, the creator of the MDBL, Michael Derbeste Battle League, I think it is, three-time regional champion, 2023 Worlds finalist, 2024 Worlds Top 4, 2025 Worlds Top 8. I couldn't have picked a better player to host an event like this. We have so much talent and so many like top finishes and regional championships, and it's insane. Like international championships across the board, 12 players. That's the first one. Thank you, Michael, again for also giving me your blessing. I hope to do you proud. But hopefully we just continue on where we left off with the last season. But let's get into player number 2, SkrawVGC. If you don't know who Skraw is well known in the YouTube world when it comes to Pokemon content. I did watch the Worlds, his journey to Worlds, I think it was 2024, where he qualified. And he just kind of walked through his journey in VGC, like in his life in Pokemon and stuff like that. He's always loved it. Stepped away for a bit, came back, and really started taking it seriously, and it's been paying off gradually over his career, which is amazing, making a day 2 and also earning his trip to Worlds. So if you haven't seen that video yet, go check it out. I really enjoyed it, watched the whole thing, and it was just really kind of cool seeing if you stick your head down and just kind of watch other content creators and just kind of figure out how it goes, you can get better. You can definitely get better and just grind it out. He went to a lot of tournaments, so good on him. Next player, the Joe Pokeaim himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Joey Pokeaim. Yeah, like it's actually hasn't been long since we've seen Pokeaim, because we saw him in the WDL, which was awesome. Let me see, he was a quarterfinalist, that's what it was. Yeah, he finished in the quarters. I think he lost to Wolf, his rematch from week 1 that season, which is unfortunate, but super fun matches, and he definitely knows what he's doing. No stranger to the draft league scene, singles and VGC. He runs the SPL, Choco Premier League, which is probably the most well-known draft league on the planet. And he and a few other people run it, so thank you very much for that. But he's dipped his foot a little bit in VGC, not as much as singles, but he's definitely gotten his experience in VGC. WDL, like I said, the quarterfinalist. SPL, his own league, the VGC one. I actually can't remember. I know he played and he did really well in that one too, but I wish I was more prepared for that one, but I don't remember. Anyway, but he also went to Milwaukee and top cut it, which is crazy. And I think he's only ever been to 2 regionals, and he went to one, I think it was like 2014 or a long time ago. I could be wrong, probably wrong, but in Milwaukee, he went there and he top cut, which is amazing, with his crazy Ho-Oh team, and that was amazing. So he had a lot of fun with that. So again, I don't want to dive too much into the players because there's just so much to talk about with a lot of them. Joshua Lorcy, are you kidding me? I don't know if he's ever played draft before. I've never spoken with him, but I know he's been a top player in the VGC scene for years now. He was a finalist at the 2017 regionals in Toronto and has just been climbing ever since. And more recently, he's finished top 8 at Orlando in 2024 and a top 8 at the Internationals LAIC in 2024. So again, I can't wait to see all these players in draft league action and the teams that they've actually drafted. So stick around, don't skip ahead, find out who else is playing. Mountaih, again, we just watched him in the WDL, held his own, started off a little slow, went a little bit, he went 3-0 for the next 3, and then he made the playoffs, actually on a loss, which is really funny. He lost his last week, but because of the tiebreakers and how they worked out, he actually ended up making playoffs based on someone else's loss, so it was a crazy week 7, but he ended up making it, and he was a quarterfinalist, so he lost in the quarters as well. But he won the SPL in the VGC league that Aaron Zhang and Joe was actually in that one, which we'll get into as well, Pokeaim, and then JoeUX9 was in it as well, and a bunch of other top players were really good in that one too, and he just won it. So he's actually looking to go to his first regional event in Toronto coming up actually this month. I'll be going to that one too, so I'll be seeing him there as well. But yeah, like, just again, he's a singles player, he's got his fundamentals down, he knows his game, he knows his calcs and things like that, and he just translates it into VGC, and he's doing fantastic. So can't wait to see him. Justin Tang, talking about one of the better players in Draft League, you can make an argument Justin Tang is the greatest draft player of all time. And there are statistics to back it. Like, we all know his VGC resume, 2025 regional champion in San Antonio, 2023 Knoxville and Fort Wayne, like almost back to back. Like, he won them very close together. I think Fort Wayne was actually his first regional, or one of the two was that he went to his first regional, he just won it. He's like, I got nothing to do this weekend, let's just go win a regional. No, it's really cool. But in Draft League, so for those who don't know, Justin Tang was a huge Draft League player before he even went to his first regional, and I can actually probably attribute a lot of his draft success to his success in VGC. This translated to, he's a creative team builder, he knows the game really well, he's been around it a lot, played a lot of reps, and you can definitely tell the success is everywhere with this guy. Right now, he's currently tearing it up in the DDL right now, Ditto Draft League, the one that I'm in. He's doing fantastic and just continuing where he left off on the Draft League NL website, being #1 ranked ever on that website, and he held it for quite a while too. So it has to be the favorite in this league, right? He has to be, because he's winning. He wins everywhere. What can I say? But it's really hard to say with the company he's in, including Federico Camparese. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I did not rehearse this at all. I just got the name on the screen. FedeCampo is his screen name, but 2023 Worlds Top 4, Gdansk Regional Champion with his Rain team, NAIC 2025 Champion with his Miraidon Lunala team, so another star-studded, like, he's just got a resume like crazy, all these players. Next player, you're probably more familiar with this player on YouTube, Freezai, the singles wonder, just like one of the top players in singles on the planet. Did actually end up going to Orlando Regionals in 2023 and surprised everybody, going 9-1 to start the tournament. I don't remember what the finals, like where Freezai finished in that tournament. I really wish I found it out, but 9-1 is insane to just go on that kind of a run. So Dozogiri with Mountaih on that team, so he just brought the Dozogiri, the combo, we obviously know of it, and then the deadly Mountaih combo, Annihilate and Mountaih. Colin Higher, I hope I'm saying that right. Higher, I'm pretty sure it's Higher. The Battle Room, as you know from his screen name. Success from all the way back in 2014, where he finished 3rd place at Worlds, so like 11 years ago, almost 12 years ago. He's been playing the game, 3rd place at Worlds, which is nuts. And then just lately, more recently, top 8 at Regionals in 2024, LA, top 4 in Portland, top 8 in Louisville. Just usually, whenever you see the top rankings, all these players we're talking about right now, you know their names, you know them on paper, you've seen their names, and you're just like, holy crap, they're playing too. And I wasn't joking when I said this lineup is nuts. Bwenty, Matt Maynard, another VGC player. Let me see, we've got top 4 2024 Stockholm Regionals, and has made in day 2 in so many tournaments. I was checking out the Limitless account, the Limitless profile, and there's just so many day 2s. It's insane, like top 16, top 32, things like that, all over the board. But I just mentioned the top 4 because that was one of his better finishes. JoeUX9, you want to talk about not being able to talk about all the great things this player's done in the community, or in tournaments in the community and stuff like that? JoeUX9, actually ran his own draft league a while ago, didn't get a lot of hype, but it was fantastic. I watched the whole thing. What was it called? It was called the X9 Draft League, I think it was. There were a ton of great players in that one. It just did not get any traction. I don't know why. It was fantastic. The games were just like you would expect with top players. But yeah, JoeUX9, 2019 Portland Regional Champion, 2023 Portland Regional Champion. You think he likes that city? Probably the most second place finishes I've ever seen after looking at his profile. Like, there was probably 6 of them. It's funny story. Just before I move on to the next player, I actually met JoeUX9 in, I think it was 2023 NAIC in Ohio. And I remember we were just kind of standing around in between matches, and a friend of mine tapped me on the shoulder and he's like, yo, and he's like, look who it is. And I think he basically said, hey, my friend wants to meet you, right? So he just tapped me on the shoulder. I'm like, what? And sure enough, he's standing right behind me. He's like, hey. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? This is so cool. And I was just like, and I think I'll never forget, I said to him, I was just like, dude, we were so happy because I think he finished second in one tournament. The next tournament, he finished second. And then shortly after, he won it, if not the next tournament after that. He even finished top 4 in the tournament I met him, which was so just nothing but top finishes for Joe. And I expect nothing less in this tournament as well. Last but not least, we have the TheUziGunner talking about the WDL. First crack at VGC against those players. That was really tough. He ended up beating Aaron Zhang in a really impressive week 1, which is awesome. I think he won week 2 as well. Didn't finish in the playoffs as well, but it's such a tough grind, and it was his first time trying VGC, and I interviewed him, and it was his very first time. It was actually, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, in an actual draft league. He's like, no, it's my first time. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you've done like ladder stuff. He's like, no, this is my first time. I'm like, you've never had 2 Pokemon on your side of the field? Oh, crazy. So no, and he did fantastic. So he's looking to build on that with a top finish in this league as well. It's going to be very, very tough for him, but he's definitely got the team to do it. We'll get into it. So, but without further ado, I'm going to get into the rosters. So I'm going to mention 2 things. If they made transactions, because I do have access to what they drafted, and I do have access to what their week 1 teams are going to be going into week 1. So I'll talk about what they drafted and then what transactions they made. I know there was a player-to-player trade, which you don't usually see very often in draft, and you also see some free agent transactions. As far as I'm concerned, the rosters are a maximum of 11 Pokemon. I think it's 11 is the max, but you can have as low as 9. 110 points is the budget, and they were able to fit. I'm not going to put the tier list on here, but I think there will probably be a fan doc of some kind, but we'll have to see when that comes out. But we're going to start off with Skra, the original draft. So when the draft is over, and I like to mention these as well because it explains what the process was in order, what they were thinking, and then where they missed. So you might see someone draft a second type of the same, double up on a type. So you might get a second dragon type or a second ground type or whatever it might be, just for the intention to go into free agents and swap it for something else. So the draft is not always the final. So I'm glad that we have both, which is awesome. So SkrawVGC. So first we've got Fluttermane, Lando, Torn, Regidrago. Are you kidding me with that start to the draft? Fluttermane, I think he was first overall. I think this is in order. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is in order. I think I did that on purpose. So we've got Fluttermane first of all overall, not a bad pick. The fact that Lando fell to him 23 picks later is kind of nuts. And then back-to-back picks getting Tornadus, Landorus, which is amazing. And then he had to wait another 23 picks after that. And then he got Regidrago, Saraledge, which is really cool. I think it's, for context, I think it's really important to talk about where they were in the draft order and how difficult it is to be drafting at the ends or in the middle. I personally don't mind the ends. It is hard to plan your draft if you're near the bottom and you have your double pick, but first overall, it's also tough because you don't get to pick again for 23 picks if there's 12 players in the league, so as we are here. So the top 4, fantastic start. Ended up going with the Saraledge, then the Vivian. Definitely wanted to get that redirection, secondary Tailwind setter, maybe a little bit of disruption with the Friend Guard, the Compound Ice Sleep Powder, making it like basically a Spore at 97% accurate. Dragalge, getting another Dragon type. So again, as you can see here, he drafted the double Dragon. I'm not sure exactly what happened here, or maybe he wanted to get it and then decided not to later. And then you have the Brute Bonnet getting a Grass type. I think every team pretty much needs a Grass type. Not so much for the offense, but for the defense. You want to be immune to those powder moves, Spore, Sleep Powder, things like that. Ground, there aren't many resists, so you definitely wanted to get one Brute Bonnet's great. And then Charge a Buck just to finalize those points. There are some decent one-pointers on the tier list. I had a quick look. But Charge a Bug is not a bad Pokemon with Battery. Basically giving a free life orb to every single Pokemon on your side of the field. Actually, is it just your opponent? Or if I'm wrong, fact check me and then tell me in the comments exactly what it is. I'm pretty sure it's a life orb to your partner, not yourself. So Fluttermane, Specs Fluttermane next to a Charge Bug, lots of damage. Tornadus, Bleak Wind Storm, same thing. Regidrago, same thing. Dragalge, same thing, but it doesn't look like he kept it for very long, so we won't really see that. But Charge Bug definitely has a place, and like I always say, one-pointers are a tool that you can use, not something to lean on. So I can see Charge Bug maybe coming 1 week. 2, I think it's getting a little greedy, but probably just the 1. There might be a matchup specifically for it. What did he turn that into with his transaction? So we actually he grabbed Wo-Chien. So we actually dropped his roster by 1 second. Quaquaval? Yeah, that wasn't there before. That's supposed to be green. There we go. So he dropped 2 for 2. So 8 and 10 for 8 and 10. So he basically went an 8-pointer for an 8-pointer and a 10-pointer for a 10-pointer. Grabbing the Wo-Chien instead of the Dragalge or the Brute Bonnet, more so, same typing. I guess he liked the type chart, but he wanted a more defensive one. I think they both kind of do the same thing, kind of super tanky grass types, dark types. They don't do a lot of damage themselves. I guess Brute Bonnet does do a lot of damage now that I think of it. But Wo-Chien just being a Stallmon, you might have considered he had a lot of offense already on the team. So he wanted to go with that passive Tablets of Ruin, lowering the attack by 25%. Makes perfect sense. But it might hinder the rest of the team a little bit because you do have the Lando, which is physical. You have the Ceruledge, which is physical. The rest are special for the most part. Well, the Quaquaval as well. So you got to be a little bit careful. Sometimes you could just use an item to counteract that Tablets of Ruin. You just go for like a life orb or something. Now your attack is basically what it was before it hit the field. So we'll have to see exactly how it plays. What do I think of this team? Looking at it first glance, I don't mind it. Like, you have so much offense immediately. Like, I think whenever you draft Prankster Tailwind and a massive spread damage dealer, he's got 3 of them. Regidrago, Lando, and Fluttermane. You got D-Gleam, you have the Dragon Energy, and you have the Earthquake. And the Earthquake is synergistic with the Tornadus and the Vivillon. So I do think that this is a very solid top end of the draft. The lower picks, I still think they're good. Ceruledge, I think, is one of the more underrated Pokemon in Draft League. Being a ghost type, being really nice. Fire type, having the immunity to fire as well, so you can go for that defensive Terra, and also still have the immunity to fire, so you can go for like bug, you can go for grass, ice, things. You wouldn't do Terra Ice. Why would you do Terra Ice, Ceruledge? Anyway, but Terra Grass is usually the more common one, but you can go Terra Bug in the situation if you really wanted to. But Ceruledge, very cool. I like it a lot. And there's also some weak armor strategies too, with weakness policy, doubling the speed and getting the weakness policy boost at the same time. And then you just heal back up with the Bitter Blade, a 90 power fire move, which is nuts. And I think it even heals, what, 75%? Is it like, I think it's like Draining Kiss or something. I feel like it is. Like, cause I know just like Drain Punch and stuff like that is 50%, but I thought that Bitter Blade actually healed more. But it's not a Pokemon I've used before, but I've always been interested in it, and I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. But one of these days, Ceruledge, one of these days. Vivillon, I think, is always nice to fit on a team if it's cheaper. It does look like middle of the pack. It's probably good value too. I do think the Friend Guard Vivillon next to the Landorus is really interesting, offering the Friend Guard, offering the Sleep Powder, offering the ground immunity, so you can go for your Earthquakes as well. The Shield Dust, so it can't be faked out. I do think that Vivillon is very nice to Landorus. I think there was at one point in VGC, there was the Tinglu next to the Vivillon strategy, which was really freaking good. So probably recreate it with this team here. The Quaquaval, I think, is a nice snowball to have on the team with that Aqua Step and the Moxie. Get a kill, you get a free Dragon Dance boost basically at the end of the turn, +1 attack from Moxie, +1 speed from the Aqua Step. Very cool Pokemon. It does get some good coverage too. We all know that fighting and fighting water is a really nice offensive typing. Hits a lot of different type combinations, and it's fast enough. You do have the Tailwind support. One thing I did notice, the only Trick Room setter on the team is Fluttermane. Is that going to be a problem for this team to stop Trick Room? Maybe. You got your Prankster Taunt, you have your insane amounts of damage on turn 1, which could work as well. You do have your Sleep Powder, so I feel... Do you have Fake Out? No Fake Out on the team, so that might be an issue, but you do have ways of... Like, the problem with when you draft a hard Trick Room team is there are so many ways to stop Trick Room from happening. You could use a phasing move like Roar or Dragon Tail or something like that. You can go for Taunt. You can go for Sleep Powder. You can go for whatever it might be, right? Prankster moves. So I feel like he has enough ways of stopping Trick Room, including the damage. Just the out of the box, I'm going to hit you hard. You're not going to get Trick Room up kind of damage. So I do think that is a very nice combination. So you know what? I would give this team a solid rating. Honestly, I don't have a tier list going right now, but I guess you know what? I'm just going to do a tier list right now. Let's just do it right now. So we're going to do S. We're going to do A, B, C, D. Yeah, honestly, I would rate... See, it's funny because I would rate these teams really high. I'm going to put Scraw in the A tier. A tier team, super, super solid. I love this team. It has so much damage right out of the gate. It has disruption. It has spread damage. It's got prankster. You've got annoyance and Wo-Chien. So just Terra Poison, Leech Seed stuff and just win the game by doing that. Just kill everything that can't kill it or that can kill it. And you win 1-0. Win's a win, right? So I like this team very much. So I would put this in the A tier for sure. But let's get into Michael Derbeste, the creator, 2nd overall. It looks like he started his draft off with Urshifu Rapid Strike. Again, didn't pick for, I think it's 21 picks now because he's 2nd overall and he has to come all the way back up because it's a snake draft. You go 1, 2, 3 all the way down to 12 and then 12, 11 to all the way up to 1. So he doesn't get to pick for a while. Decided to go with Farigiraf. I don't know if he communicated with Scraw on those wheel picks because I know that usually the 1st and 2nd overall picks, it helps them plan their draft if Scraw knows what Michael's picking at 2nd, right? Because on the way back, you're like, okay, what are you picking? That way I can plan for it. And in exchange, you could say, I'm going to go for these 2 on my wheel pick. That way you can, so essentially they both get back-to-back picks. I've seen that before, even as much as the top 3 overall picks, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. I've seen them communicate and then they basically are all getting wheel picks because you're like, oh, that's what you're getting. So I won't pick that. No worry. And you just plan around it so you can guarantee you're going to get those 2 your next pick around. So not sure if he did that, but let's see. So the Urshifu Rapid Strike and the Farigiraf. Heatran after that. I love the Farigiraf, the Heatran and the Urshifu. Urshifu is a little susceptible to fake out. So Farigiraf is a nice Pokemon to have. We just watched the Crocodile win a championship in the WDL with James Beck, which is really cool. So I don't think Crocodile fits on every single team, but let's see how this one works here. Crocodile's there with the Intimidate, the Moxie stuff, really cool. The ground coverage, I love it. Dragapult just hits so hard. Choice Bandit loves. The choice items in general, I've seen Specs, this is the Pokemon that can hold literally any item it wants. You can run Focus Sash, you can run Choice Band, Scarf, and Specs. You can run Life Orb. You can run Light Clay. You can get your 8 turns of screens up because it's so fast. I've seen it next to a Charizard. You set Sunny Day. You go for the solar power. This thing can do so many things. This is a Swiss Army knife of VGC. Dragon Ball can do pretty much anything. The Glimmora. One thing I'm noticing how this draft is going, your only form of speed control until the end with the Kilowattrel next is really just Farigiraf. So he must have had his eye on a lower tier Tailwind setter and said, I'm okay with a 9-pointer and I'll just grab one later. Maybe go get yourself a Fletchinder if it's gone or something, or maybe a bulky one. Maybe he just knew he was going to get one, didn't really care which one, but I do think it's a little risky grabbing your Tailwind setter that late, but it worked out for him in the end. The Glimmora there with the Kilowattrel, I think these 2 picks back-to-back are fantastic. Glimmora loves its Tailwind. Loves its Tailwind. You get the Power Herb, the Meteor Beam, just completely nuke something. The Kilowattrel gets the Tailwind off. Love it. Kilowattrel could even potentially like U-turn into the Glimmora. It's resisted, and you get the Toxic Spikes onto your opponent's side of the field to eliminate basically Focus Sashes, things like that. That could work too. Glimmora is just super, super strong. There's a lot of out-of-the-box offense on this team so far. Like, you've got Urshifu 130, Farigiraf 110, Heatran 130, yes, 130, Crocodile 117, yeah. Then you got Dragapult 120, Glimmora 130. Like, this team hits so hard just right off the bat. So it's just a matter of getting positioning and speed control, but we all know Michael likes to hang with the best of them, so I can see him hanging around in matches a little bit longer than people would like. leading him to some late game victories. So Avalog, it looks like he got the table for his Trick Room Sweeper. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I think just obviously like its special defense is so low, but I don't mind it. I actually liked running this Avalog with loaded dice on it. It gets, I think it gets Rock Blast, it gets Icicle Spear, things like that. It can't be intimidated with its ability, own tempo. Sturdy could work too. So I actually don't mind Avalog, and as good as Ice is offensively, this could work. It could work. We'll have to see. And if you want to talk about boosting its damage, which is kind of meh, 117 on a couple of Pokemon isn't that strong. Alchemy can boost it with the Decorate, so get the Fairy type nice and cheap. I'm still surprised at how cheap Alchemy is in leagues like this. I think in mine too it was this low as well, based on the tier list. It might even be a very similar tier list in Reg F. And then the last pick of the draft, it looks like you grab Fungus, a little bit of Redirection, a little bit of Spore. It is slower than pretty much anything that's going to be usable in this game at 15 base speed. So it's slower than your Torkoal, slower than your other Amoonguss that might be kicking around later. Base 30s, base 35s, things like that. I do think that Fungus is very nice. Eviolite, it gets very, very bulky, but you can taunt it pretty easily. Again, no fake out on this team. Interesting. So that's two teams that were just like, nah, I don't need it. Imagine not drafting fake out. It was me. Yeah, it's a really, really important tool to have. I wish I drafted it. But yeah, Michael knows what he's doing for sure, but it looks like he made a couple of transactions. So what did he end up with? It looks like he ended up actually expanding the roster. He ended up dropping the Kilowattrel and the Alchemy, ended up grabbing Rabombi. I don't mind the lateral move from the Kilowattrel to the Rabombi. Rabombi can't be faked out with the Shield Dust ability. Is it just as fast or is it 1 point slower? It's 124, right? 124, and then the Kilowattrel is 125. Basically the same. Like, yeah, like what are you facing that's gonna make that much of a difference, right? So I do really like this. Rabombi dropped the Alchemy too, so I guess he dropped the Alchemy, grabbed the Fairy type. I don't mind that. You're not really hitting that hard with Rabombi, but I guess Moonblast does do more damage than Alchemy would with Dazzling Gleam. So I think that's a good choice as well, depending on how you want to play it. Rotom Fan definitely has a place in my heart. I've drafted it before. It was in a Dynamax format, but the Rotom Fan with Max Airstream was just really nice. Everybody hates on it because its ability is meaningless. But Flying Electric, we know a few Flying Electrics that are pretty good. Kilowattrel was on the team before, but it's back right now. And Zapdos is a pretty good Pokemon too, so only having the Rock and the Ice weakness, you don't really see that on a lot of teams. You don't see a lot of Ice damage kicking around. Rock Slide, okay, fine, it's bulky enough to take them. You do have Wide Guard and the Avalog, so this Rotom Fan could do pretty well, and it's also really annoying with the Will-O-Wisp, the Eerie Impulse, the Electroweb, things like that. So I do think that Rotom Fan looks very nice on this team, especially with the Crocodile too. You got your Disquake stuff. So he added some nice moves. Makuhita, I don't get it. Mascot? Call it a mascot? I don't know. I actually think, funny thing about Makuhita, who was it? It was Weedle Twin Needle actually posted on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. Makuhita next to, what was it? It was an extreme speed user with weakness policy. I forget what it was. And upper hand stuff, upper hand extreme speed weakness policy. And everybody's just like, you can't do that. Upper hand will flinch. It doesn't have inner focus. You can only do it with Lucario, Entei, and Dragonite, blah, blah, blah. And Weedle's just like, it has sheer force. So it does more damage, yeah, but it doesn't get flinched. And it was like, this is so cool. So I'm not sure exactly what it could do it with. Something fast, maybe. That'd be kind of cool. I guess you can kind of do it on anything. Not with extreme speed, but maybe Dragapult. That'd be really neat. Dragon Darts at +2. You go for like Terra Steel or something like that. Get it off. That'd be kind of cool. That's probably why it's there. It does get Wide Guard, does get Fake Out, Coaching, things like that. Eviolite. Let's see its bulkiness. Nah. 72 HP, 30. Probably not. But hey, again, 1 week. That's all it takes for this thing to have any sort of use. Unless you're like Aaron Zhang in the WDL and just never use your low tiers. You're like, they're placeholders. Mascots, whatever. But let's see. So we've got Pokeaim's team. Did not make any transactions. Very different team than he drafted in the WDL. We've got Ursaluna, Blood Moon, Rillaboom, Talonflame. I do like the Talonflame Ursaluna. The Fast Bear is very strong. This thing is definitely numero uno on the prep check when it comes down to stopping things on another team that has it. You definitely have to stop this thing. Does he have a way of setting Trick Room? We got like a Slowbro Galars over there. Okay. Snarl, stopping Snarls. You got the Bisharp over there because you have the Defiant stopping Snarls potentially. So you have to be very careful. So that Spectre, which is next over here, and the Ursaluna, they hit very differently. You got Ghost and Fairy. I know it's non-stab, but it's usually Draining Kiss as the second move. But just Shadow Ball and Draining Kiss is a lot different than Earth Power and Hyper Voice. So I like it. I like it a lot. Spectre, naturally quick at 130 base speed. Super strong at 145 special attack. I do think that your speed can be, if you have an abundance of speed in your natural base stats, which 130 is, gets to 200 as a max. A lot of Pokemon aren't anywhere near that stat, right? So you can throw that in your bulk. You can throw it in a modest nature, for example, just to make this even stronger. 145 gets to stupid amounts of damage. So you can expect Spectre to be pretty bulky this season, especially with natural HP. That's another thing. Your HP, it's just so much nicer to have a naturally high HP because then you could just invest in your defensive stats. So high base stats do well in Pokemon. Surprise. Clefable, I do like it because it helps you get your Trick Room up. Clefable is slow enough to use its own Trick Room at 60 base speed. The Slowbro, I do like the Slowbro, the fact that it can use its own Trick Room once it sets it. So you can go for Follow Me Trick Room, maybe just go for like a pivot out into that Ursaluna, then your Trick Room's going. Unless you get the Ursaluna on the field, this damage is not much to write home about with the Slowbro and the Clefable, but it is enough to have to be careful about, right? So I do like the typing, the Regenerator too. Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the Oblivious, so you can taunt this version of the Slowbro, the Cantonio version, having the ability to not let you taunt it, but Mental Herb exists for a reason. So we do have the slow mode, the fast mode, the redirection. Hawlucha, we do have the terrain. It looks like he was going for that with the Rillaboom, so you get your +1 defense from the Grassy Seed. Activated immediately. Now Hawlucha's faster than anything you could possibly imagine. Faster than Fluttermane with Booster Energy at 306. But this thing gets way faster than that. 118 times 2 is nuts. Like we've seen Sneasler going around. Hawlucha, I know that Focus Sash is another item that a lot of people like running on the Hawlucha. Go for a Swords Dance, knocks you down to Sash. Then you're good to go, right? Bisharp, I do really like the Bisharp on this team. One of the ways of stopping Spectre and Ursaluna is Snarls. So A, it resists it, and B, you just get a +2 attack. So Bisharp is very cool. Gives you a little bit of priority too with the Sucker Punch. It's got some setup stuff as well with the Swords Dance as well. I do like it. For Alligator as the water type, the cheap water type at 5 points, I like it a lot. Sheer Force with a handful of its moves like Liquidation, things like that. It does get Dragon Dance too, so this thing might just need one turn to get going. I think it's a little bit better in singles, a little more used, but watch out for this thing's damage. With the Sheer Force and the Life Orb, this could be very nice, but I do feel like you're going to be fighting for the Life Orb on your team. Ursaluna loves it, Spectre loves it, Magikarp Clefable loves it, and so on. So I do think that Life Orb will be there every single week, without question, somehow. Last pick, Banette, again, just a 1-pointer. Another ghost type. It's a physical ghost type. Okay, very frail. Will-O-Wisp, but again, I think you could just do that with the Spectrier. I don't know if Banette's going to be coming to most games, but again, you have 1 point left. What do you do? He might have something in store for it, maybe like Shadow Sneak stuff. I don't know. But let's see what he wants to do with it. So that's Banette. No transactions, so that's the team. I'm actually not rating them. Hold on a second. Michaelderbeste's team. I'm gonna probably put that in B. Michael. There we go. I do have to remember to put these in the tiers so I can actually put a tier list at the end. Show you guys exactly where I rated them. But let's see. So we've got Pokeaim. Where we're gonna put him. I like this team a lot. It doesn't... This team has a lot of positioning it wants, but it does have enough offense to go off right off the bat. Would I rate this one above Michael's? Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, Pokeaim. Let's put him in A. Pokeaim. cool. I don't know which order in these tiers it's going to go, but it's going to go there. But let's see. So Lorcy, Josh Lorcy. So let's see what he drafted for the first time. So Ogerpon Hearthflame, one of my favorite first round draft picks ever. I think it does so many things. It doesn't need any help whatsoever. Naturally high speed with the Terra. It just deletes resisted hits. It's amazing. Not sure about the Incineroar pick for the second pick though. I feel like if you're going Ogerpon, you might not want to go Incineroar right away because there's so many tools that you could just use on a draft league roster. Again, it's never a bad pick to pick Incineroar, but again, let's see how the rest of the draft finished just to see if he actually missed out on any pieces. Primarina for a third pick, I do like it. I like Primarina and Ogerpon very much. Primarina covers a lot of the terras you want to go into for Ogerpon. I've talked about that in length on the channel in numerous videos, so I do think that the Primarina is fantastic on this team. Bronzong, definitely went with the Bronzong to get the Trick Room going to enable that Primarina. I like it next to the Prim. It's immune to the poison, resist the grass, resist the rock for the first two, so I think Bronzong's a fantastic pick for here. Next, Rhyperior. I like these two side by side because of obviously the Levitate. You can go for the Earthquake stuff. Not so much with a Thwackey on the roster. But again, you don't have to go with the Earthquake, but it does make it so you have to really think about it. You don't have to go for the grassy terrain every week. You do have the Ogerpon, but you can definitely tell that there's some synergy with the Thwackey. So defensive terrain, there might have been other terrain that was drafted like Psyspam or something. Definitely wanted some way to answer that. Enables the Ogerpon with double Grassy Glide. I think one of my favorite Thwackey sets is the Choice Band. And then they're waiting to maybe be faked out or whatever it might be, or just support, and they want to be U-turn, but you're just going to go for the Choice Band boosted grassy terrain boosted grassy glides next to the Ogerpon. Don't mind it. A little bit of Intimidate fodder, but we'll have to see how the rest of the team works. Gastrodon. I like the Gastrodon. Supports the Ogerpon once it's Terra'd. Supports the Incineroar once it's Terra'd, but the Gastrodon and the Incineroar might not be doing a ton of damage on the field at the same time, so not much protection for the Incineroar unless you're just trying to get that parting shot off. I do like Gastrodon as a Pokemon in general. 10 points, probably where it should be, right in the middle. Raikou, I love Raikou in draft. Whenever I have a chance, I recommend people to grab it. It is naturally quick. Its support moves are fantastic. You got your Eerie Impulse, you got your T-Wave, your Snarl, your Howl, and it does damage naturally at 115 special attack. And its bulk is pretty good too at 90, 75, and 100. I do like this a lot. I actually prepped against John Luke's Chestnut in the DDL recently. That bulletproof ability stops more than you think it does. Like, I was like, oh, I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball. Nope. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go for an Acid Spray. Nope. Oh, I can't go for Acid Spray. Let's go for Sludge Bomb. Nope. It stops a lot of moves. Wide Guard being very nice on it as well. Spiky Shield, just the broken version of Protect. Me likey. Clodsire on this team. It's a slow after you user. Water Absorb. Okay. Not bad. I do think it's a little bit of an excess in what you already have. Like, it kind of does a little bit of what Gastrodon does. It kind of does a bit of what Rhyperior does. It's got Unaware, so I kind of see what you could do with it. But again, it's probably like one of those one-pointers on the rest of the teams. I do think that Clodsire is probably coming very little with this type of roster. You want to bring a lot of these pieces. Like, Instant, Ogerpon, Prim are probably coming every week. With a combination of the others. Could be Trick Room one week, could be Raikou another week, but I can't really see you choosing Clodsire over Rhyperior, or in another week Clodsire over the Gastrodon. Maybe in like a Dozogiri week you could go for Clodsire. I used it on ladder one time just because I thought it was funny. So yeah, Clodsire could get used. The Unaware is probably what it was drafted for, I would imagine. But where would I rate this team? He's got some of my favorite picks. I would have to put him right beside Michael in B. So Lorcy is right there in B. Yeah, that's probably where he belongs, right there. And you know what? Not a bad first draft. I don't mind it. I do feel like there's some missing pieces. I'm not exactly sure which ones he would make or should make. It doesn't look like he did. But very, very good player. I can't wait to see what he does with the roster and what, like, on a week to week. So let's see. Mountaih, let's see what he cooked up this time around. It looks like he went Urshifu. Why do I have no pictures? Why do I have no pictures here? Are they going to populate? I hope so. There it is. Cool. Just took a minute. Let's see. Ooh, what did we got here? We got Urshifu Single Strike. Round 1. Okay. I see it. And then you got the Golden Ghost, because now we're at, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at pick number 5, so he's still in the top half of the draft. And he went for Urshifu. That's a little risky to me, because, like, Urshifu, I feel like is a nice piece to a team. And if it's going to be the centerpiece of the team, it needs the support. It looks like he got it, which is nice. The Goldango as a second pick is like, what? It's like literally a perfect partner next to it. Hits on the special side instead of the physical side. You got the Urshifu's weak to the fairy, weak to the fighting. Goldango switches in fantastic there. Different speed tiers, hit different ways. Love it. How are we going to enable both of them? It looks like you got the Whimsicott. Can't believe that, round 3. So very, very nice. I think this, honestly, as well as it went, we can't look at hindsight for how to do things. So if I were talking to new players right now, I wouldn't recommend doing this, because unless Whimsicott was replaceable by like maybe like the bug fairies, whatever it is, Illumise, and I know he had Illumise or Volbeat in WDL and liked it a lot. But maybe there are a handful of backups, you know, and if you have backups, sure, why not? Go for the risk. I would have gone for Dengo first round, and maybe you just wanted Urshifu. Who knows? I'm ripping into a really good player. I shouldn't be doing that. It's already started, guys. My opinions have already started. Araquanid next, getting the other side of the spectrum, and a water type. I love it. I hate facing Araquanid. It does so much damage right off the bat. Doesn't need any help. I think I've just been swept by one on turn 1. I was like, oh yeah, I'll go for the partner. Let's go for the partner and take it out. Araquanid just starts picking things off. It's like, oh, this thing does a lot of damage. Do not ignore this thing. Don't ignore any of these things. They're really, really good. Electabuzz to support everything. I think Electabuzz Goldango is fantastic. Just watch out for the ground moves, but the Araquanid for a nice switch in is really nice. Looks like you have the Noivern as well for some speed control, secondary speed control, and your Dragon type. Don't mind it. I don't mind. It's not an overlap with the Whimsicott and the Noivern. If anything, it frees up Noivern to be a little bit more offensive. Kit is very nice and supportive. I do like it. Plays differently than Whimsicott, much differently. But yeah, don't mind it. The Mamoswine. How does Mamoswine fit on this team? Threatens the fire types for Goldango. It really doesn't like fire types. But you do have the Araquanid, the Mamoswine. Okay, cool. Fire does hit the Mamoswine back, but you do have that thick fat ability, so it kind of eliminates its weakness, so you could do that. It's funny, Mamoswine is always so strong, but like I've never really found a place for it on a team. But it works. It just works, right? So yeah, we'll have to see how he wants to play it. Me likey, I guess. Ice Shard is really sneaky on this thing. It does so much damage, but anyway. You got his Friskmon. 2 of them, actually. So Monkey I've seen Monkey do well in draft. A lot of people don't know much about it. Does he have a steel type? Yeah, he's got the Goldango. So you can go for like the fake out, or you can go for the sludge wave stuff next to the Goldango. I like it. Both weak to dark and ghost, unfortunately, but getting Frisk and finding out what the items are on the Goldango, especially if you go for a choice scarf on the Goldango, finding out if there's an opposing choice scarf on the other side with the Frisk, I like it. Because it can't be faked out, and if you're not going faster than it, you're about to get a lot of damage done to you. So I like it. And Monkey gets like things like Parting Shot and things like that. It gets a lot of nice support moves. Just go check out it on Pokemon Showdown. It gets a lot of nice pieces. Stantler grabbed his Intimidate user and his Trick Room setter. Whimsicott does set Trick Room, but Stantler. Is Eviolite a problem on this team? Sharing it? Is it? I feel like Electabuzz wants it every week. It's kind of hard to run an Electabuzz without it. So does that make Stantler a little bit awkward? Maybe. I know it's 2 points, Intimidate and Frisk and things like that. I kind of like it. But if it's going to be your Trick Room setter, but you don't really want Trick Room on this team, honestly. Like you could. Mamoswine's the middle speed tier, depending on your matchup. Araquanid's more of a deterrent. Okay, but you can do it if you want. But yeah, I think Stantler, Araquanid, I think it could work. Maybe just leave Electabuzz home 1 week, but I can't really see them both coming to the same week. So, it's possible. And then speaking about another Eviolite user on the Venonat, The sleep powder stuff, again, we mentioned it with the, what was it? The Vivian. Same kind of thing, a little bulkier because you've got the access to the Eviolite, sleep powder, rage powder, nightshade, all that fun stuff. You're not a lot of sets you're going to run on this Venonat, but it is very disruptive, very annoying. But it looks like he made a couple transactions with the Noivern and the Venonat, leaving him with Hydrapple and the Berserker. So he ended up dropping, 11 points, picking up 11 points. Hydrapple and the Berserker, so getting another fake out user, probably seeing that the Eviolite was probably a little in high demand on this team, so went with the Berserker, grabbed himself a Steel type. I love it. I actually have Berserker on my current DDL team right now, and it does some things and does surprisingly more damage than you think it does. I think that Uzi ended up with it in WDL last season and liked it as well. It did a lot of damage. I think it did really well against Wolf too. It was really nice. And the Hydrapple, we saw James Beck win a championship with it. I'm not sure if it came to that finals. I think it was just Blastoise all the way for that team, but it was on the championship roster. Won him a few weeks. He ran a weakness policy one, ran I think he ran White Herb 1 week, Life Orb. It was a nuts. AV, things like that. Ran different items every single week. Hydrapple's very good. 3 quad weaknesses on the team in Hydrapple, the Urshifu, and the Whimsicott. Yeah, it does. I like the Hydrapple because it makes your Tricker mode just a little bit more scary. And your upfront offense is pretty good too with Mamoswine, Goldango, and Urshifu, supported by the Whimsicott. I do like the fact that Whimsicott can set Trick Room and Tailwind, so you can threaten both. That could be a kind of a neat little way of doing it as well. People like to get rid of the Whimsicott, but it's really difficult when you have a Dango and an Urshifu there. So yeah, we'll have to see if he can bait out some Terras, because there's a lot of offense naturally on this team. Where would I put this team? Probably in B. Probably in B, yeah. Yeah, Mount in B. Again, it's a good team. Like, none of these are bad teams. Like, I think there's a team that I was like, maybe, I guess, when I was looking through them, but I do think this team, it does some things. I see what he's going for. And again, just because I didn't draft the team and I don't exactly see all the vision for everything, doesn't mean it's not a good team. I do see a lot of really nice pieces and a lot of way of doing natural offense setup. I see a lot of those things. Tools like Follow Me, you've got the Fake Out, Frisk, all those are great things to have. Trick Room setters, I'd like to see a little bit of a diverse speed tiers, things like that. So yeah, I give my seal of approval on this team. Again, B tier, not exactly sure where in the B tier it'll be, but it'll be there. Justin Tang, probably the go-to draft league again. I say that. He's actually got Garchomp in the DDL right now in the league that I'm in, and it's actually his kill leader, I think, right now, and it's doing really, really well. So he's really comfortable with it, which is nice. We see the Chi-Yu and the Sneasler on the team. Sneasler pick 1 and Chi-Yu pick 2. I feel like those should be flipped. I would love to pick Chi-Yu, and usually it has to go round 1 if you want it. So yeah, it's interesting to see Sneasler first, then Chi-Yu, but maybe he just wanted it. Maybe he had a plan for a bunch of different ways of enabling the Sneasler, and he just wanted some RNG on his team. Yeah, maybe. You know, maybe the Sneasler first round says a lot about kind of a guy he is, you know, just likes to live on the edge, you know, maybe get some hacks, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, I love Justin. But Sneasler, Chi-Yu, and Didi, obviously the Indeedie's there to enable the Sneasler a little bit. This is a very strong combo, especially with the specs Indeedie. The Unburden boosted Sneasler does a lot of damage. The acrobatics set on the Sneasler has been very strong in Reg H. It was doing really well. It was one of the more popular sets with like the Swords Dance, things like that. The Corviknight there, okay, it's a nice piece. I do like it. Protects the Sneasler a little bit. Protects the Chi-Yu a little bit. The Iron Bundle is a nice piece as well. It's funny, these are not side by side, and they usually are. So he's got Chi-Yu Bundle. He's got the Garchomp there, the T-Tar. So we got another combination. So you got combination here, combination here, combination here. So we've already got ourselves a 2-2-2 kind of team. Super, super strong. The Morgrem, probably there more so for screens on an Indeedee team, because obviously the prankster status moves that are directional, like the T-Wave and stuff like that. The fake tiers, I think it gets fake tiers. Can't really do that with the Indeedee on the field, but again, screens is just really, really nice with a team like this. The Garchomp, the T-Tar, they love screens, so why not? Duosion, another expanding force user, so you can get Trick 'em up and then just start going off. So I do like this team. I do think this team is very simple, but he also drafted a very simple team in DDL right now as well, and he's doing great with it. So it's kind of mindless. You're going to see a lot of the same sets most weeks. You might see a little bit of spice on a couple of sets here and there, but I think you're going to see pretty standard from a team like this most weeks, and it'll still do incredible. I can see him maybe going perfect this season and maybe winning it all with a team like this, because he's definitely got the tools. I've got to put this one in A. There's just too much going on for it to put it any lower. Justin Tang, let's put him there. Didn't make any transactions, not surprising. I do think this team's very strong. Quad weaknesses, how are we doing? We got 3 T-Tar, Garchomp, and you got the Sneasler, whatever. It's kind of frail to begin with, but the Chi-Yu and the bundle you have to plan for. Like, prepping for this team is going to be a nightmare for teams, because you have to be like, okay, do I watch out for the Corviknight setup? Do I watch out for the Chi-Yu bundle with the spread damage? Do I watch out for the Garchomp T-Tar? Do I watch out for the Spam with the Sneasler? He's got Fake Out. He's got... Does he have a Tricker mode? Not really. More so just to set it up. I guess T-Tar would do really well. I can see a lot of things on this team wanting Terra. I know Chi-Yu really likes Terra, Bundle likes Terra, Garchomp likes Terra, T-Tar likes Terra. So navigating that might be his only problem that he has to work out, but I feel like you could just out-damage your problems a lot of the time. Type chart looks okay. He's got to resist. Maybe Water looks pretty good into the team, but Freeze Dry from Bundle looks pretty good. The fighting weakness, okay, you got Sneasler, you know, do you hit fighting types hard back? The fairy type, unfortunately, is Morgrem, so you're going to hit fairy types with Sneasler, I guess. With the Dire Claw, you know, living on the edge with the Dire Claw stuff. Yeah, honestly, if you're facing a team like this, Covert Cloak's probably your best friend with the Icy Wind stuff, the Fake Out, the Snarls, the Fake Out, the Dire Claw, Rock Slide Spam, not to mention, you definitely want to have Covert Cloak. So I think that's going to be the item of choice for most opponents going into Justin's team most weeks. But that is Justin's team. We gave it a rating. We are halfway done, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. FedeCampo, Federico. Let's see what he drafted. I think this is the team that I looked at and I went, huh? But again, it's just, I feel like this team's a bunch of stuff. Let's go through the stuff. Ogerpon Cornerstone. You know what probably happened? I feel like the Iron Crown went. Obviously, probably wanted the Spam, but maybe waited a little bit too long for the Psychic Terrain, maybe, and then just lost it. Maybe, I don't know, but I know that in a lot of draft leagues, Iron Crown is the kill leader a lot of the time. But with the right support, I don't know if he got it. Yeah, well, let's go through the rest of the team and we'll see if we can find some synergies. So, Ogerpon Cornerstone, I currently have this Pokemon. It's very good. Rock Stab is really good with the Ivy Cudgel. Hits a lot of things. Rock is a fantastic offensive typing. Not many resists. Usually a lot of type charts. Even on this one, Rock looks pretty good into this team as well. But it's defendable with the Steel type, things like that. But Ogerpon with the Follow Me is very nice too. We can get some Calm Mind stuff off maybe. Maybe a manual Psychic Terrain. That'd be kind of cool. Okidogi to defend against the Intimidates into the Ogerpon. One of the things that hurts it is just Intimidate spam, because can't hold any items, can't clear them, can't nothing without a partner. So a Guard Dog ability, giving yourself a +1 attack. Okidogi being very bulky and naturally offensive. I do think that a +1 attack is enough for this thing to just, you just Terra. It's got a quad weakness to Psychic. Okay, fine. You just Terra out of it, maybe go Terra Grass or whatever it might be, or Terra Fire is usually pretty good on it, and then you got your redirection and then it just goes off, right? So I can see these two being a little bit of a menace. Salamence I do like on a team like this because it hits, pretty much does everything. You got your little bit of support with the Tailwind, you got your special, gets really good special coverage surprisingly enough, gets the right moves too in Fire and Dragon with the Draco Meteor. It is a stronger physical attacker, but I feel like this team kind of wants to be intimidated, but maybe not. It might not be 100% the way to go, but you can get away with both. I think Salamence is a good spot on this team. Having Okidogi and Iron Crown being weak to ground, and then the Salamence switches in with the Intimidate. I like it. And speaking about being weak to ground, the Entei is also right there as well. So how are we going to patch up that ground weakness? Because the Entei is just an all-around good Pokemon. Like, I feel like this is the team of just nice picks. I don't know what they do together. Like, I'm trying to find the synergy as we go, as we talk about it, and it's there. There's some stuff. How they work together, I'm not sure. You probably played a little bit of a balance mode, like maybe like corner pawn, Entei, Rotom. Rotom, I've missed way too many Hydro Pumps to ever draft this Pokemon again. Talked to Aaron about it. I was a little more upset about it than he was. He's pretty chill about all of his T-Waves and stuff like that, and Paras and Hydro Misses and all that stuff. But this is the Pokemon that you have to be okay with missing. Maybe run the, what's that item? Blunder policy on this thing might be really good. Give yourself a speed boost for when you miss. You will miss. I feel like Rotom Wash is a little bit better in support. Eerie Impulse, Will-O-Wisp, the other Rotom we mentioned on Michael's team, I think, with the Rotom Flying, Rotom Fan. So same kind of way. It has no weaknesses if you tear Electric. Not bad. The Snorlax, okay, do we have a Trick Room setter on this team? We do not. So how is Snorlax getting enabled aside from just redirection? I don't know. I feel like, yeah, honestly, it's bulky enough, maybe. I just don't like getting hit twice. You're susceptible to flinches, to burn, secondary effects, stuff like that. But you do have the Follow Me and the Belly Drum stuff. Okay, fine. Not sure where the Snorlax fits on this team, but it's just a good mod. All of these Pokemon are just good. Together, I don't know. We'll have to see. I might be eating my words as the season goes on, you know, starting the season like on a crazy heater, but Sableye, I won a championship with Sableye. I love it. This thing's kit is phenomenal. You just put absolute bulk in everything. No offense. Stab Knockoff still does some damage. Shadow Sneak doesn't do zero. Its attack isn't very high, but it does enough with Knockoff and stuff as a utility move, and Shadow Sneak to pick things off. But speaking of utility, this thing gets screens. It gets Will-O-Wisp. Like, not many prankster Will-O-Wisp users in the game. I remember I prepped against this thing one time, and the team had like Iron Hands and like Salamence and things like that, and it was always a problem because the prankster Will-O-Wisp was just a big problem. You could have all the offense in the world, but if you get prankster Will-O-Wisp, there's nothing you could really do about it except for items and maybe redirection, pivoting, getting rid of it first. Like, you have to play around this thing, and it's 11 points. So I do really like this pick. Probably my favorite pick on this team so far. Ice Cube, second Belly Drum user. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen this thing since Gen 8, guys. Like with the Ice Face and the Dynamax and going for the Max Hailstorm, getting your Ice Face back. Kind of cool. Double it, like it goes crazy speed. Not double, but it might be double. Base 50, I think it goes up to 130 once it loses its Ice Face. That giant block on its head weighing it down. So really cool creative Pokemon that they made, but don't really see how it works offensively here. I've seen people use it. I've seen. Where do I rate this team? It's got to be the lowest team so far. Again, it's not bad. It's just I have to see what this team can do because I don't see a lot of synergy aside from pivoting and just hitting things differently. But there's no like obvious synergy between the two aside from just like your redirection. Okay, fine. Like there isn't even a ground type on this team with the Rotom, so it's like I gotta see this. This is more like a C for now. I would put this in the C tier for now. So this is FedeCampo. Okay. Oh yeah, but let's move on to the next team, Freezai. Let's see what Freezai drafted. Ooh, Champao Dragonite. I've seen this duo do fantastic in Draft League a lot. It is the strategy that everybody has to watch out for immediately. If you don't do your E-Speed calcs right off the bat with the Choice Band, Terra Normal, with Sword of Ruin, you're doing it wrong. You need to have answers for this thing. There are a handful of answers. You can intimidate it. You can burn it maybe. Maybe you go for like your Sableye, which is kind of nice. But yeah, like it's right off the bat, this thing's really, really scary. Both of these things. Like I wanted Champao really badly in my last draft. Didn't get it. There's a reason. Wink, wink. But this is not the duo I was going to get. I was going to get another one, but this is definitely one I would have gotten if it was sniped. Amoonguss to support the two. I love it already. This is a fantastic draft so far. You have your major offense, major annoyance with the Amoonguss. You have your switch-ins, things like that for the fairy on both of them. I love it. I love the Amoonguss on this team. Arcanine, another E-Speed user. Love it. I had Arcanine 1 season or 2 seasons, and I don't think I ran the same set twice. It was so useful. It wasn't a matter of, ooh, is Arcanine good this week? It was a matter of which Arcanine set is coming this week. You know? You get Snarl, Will-O-Wisp, you have your E-Speed, Flare Blitz, you have your different Terras, you have Justified, you have your Flash Fire. You're facing a Sun team. Flash Fire is fantastic. Love it. And then just in case it didn't get any stronger, this has got to be the best team by far, no? Like, I'm just looking ahead. Like, Archaludon, Basculegion, Politoed. Are you kidding me? People draft this stuff first. Are you serious? Politoed, Basculegion, Arch. This is literally round 1, round 2, round 3 to start your draft. He got it 5, 6, and 7. This is insane. No one went Rain. I think I rated, what, things to do in Draft League, I think I said, or things not to do in Draft League. And we were talking about like all Rain or all Sun. This team has Rain. It is not a Rain team. I love it. You can run your Rain. You got to watch out for that. This right here is enough to give you problems in prep, let alone the Amoonguss, which you have to run safety goggles or whatever it might be, Terra Grass. Then you have your Dragonite with your Terra Flying Terra Blast, your Chiampao with the Ice. So you have such a hard time dealing with all of these things. This has to be the best team. I don't even want to go over the rest of it. This is the best team. And Amoonguss is a Trick Room deterrent too. Like, you have a pseudo Paris song mode with the Gothita. Not bad, okay. You have your Trick Room mode, but I think it's probably going to be used more of a deterrent. Your Girafarig can't be faked out with Inner Focus. You go for the Eviolite. Again, not fighting for it. This, in my opinion, is probably... Do I use the word perfect? I'm going to put this in S, and I think this is the only one that's going to be there. Am I right? Like, this team is so ridiculous. I don't think I've ever... guys, I've seen a lot of draft teams. Obviously, the guys that are playing, some of them have seen a lot more draft teams than me. I don't know about you guys, but I would go out and say this is the best squad I've ever seen. When it comes to top, bottom, tools, fast, slow, priority, annoyance. Like, you have your types everywhere. The chart's not bad. You have modes like crazy. Like, the turn 1 offense is just, you have your Politoed Basculegion, you have your Politoed Arch, you have your Chiampao Dragonite, you have your Chiampao Arcanine, you have your Dragonite Amoonguss, you have Arch Amoonguss, you have your Paris Trap with your Gothita, and this is nuts. Like, this is crazy. Great job. Like, this is fantastic. I put these teams in earlier in the week. I just entered them all, and I'm like, I'll get to this later. I didn't realize how busted this team was. Holy cow. All right, nice job. Wow. It's got to be the favorite next to Justin, right? With this squad? Like, man, you still got to play the games, I guess, but wow. All right, next team. Fanboying over this team. So we got Battle Room. The Battle Room, let me see. Battle Room. Yeah, Colin drafted himself the Ogerpon, Wellspring, Gouging Fire. This is not the first time I've seen these two drafted together. Probably because it's seen a lot in VGC. These two cover each other very well. The Follow Me does, like, if you run like the Clear Enemy, like Gouging Fire, the Follow Me, usually Terra Fire, Terra Fairy, things like that, you want to go into a Gouging Fire, but Wellspring really hurts that. And it's just it's got the immunity to the water, so you can go for Follow Me, stop the water moves, not like it's weak to it on the Gouging Fire, but it's still really nice. Howl stuff, Dragon Dance, a lot of different things you can do with these two. I love the start to the draft. I've actually seen it win a championship. Personally, it won against me. I would definitely know that it happened. Again, modes here. Look at this. You got those two. You have the Ninetales and the Articuno. Okay, we've seen that have success before. Intimidate spam looks great in a Gouging Fire Ogerpon. So what do you draft? Defiant. Kingambit. Fantastic start so far. Another Intimidate spam mon. You got the into the Intimidate. Yeah, Slitherwing. You want to use Intimidate against. Sorry for my loss of words. Moltres Galar. Yeah, let's just throw one of the better Pokemon in VGC on there. I feel like this thing sneaks up sometimes in VGC. Like, it's not in every meta, but when it is, it's usually fantastic. And right now, I think you see it here and there in Reg F right now in January. So I do like it. Can you enable this thing though? The Ogerpon with the Moltres, I like. Okay. I see it. Okay. It'd be nice if there's a ground type on this team, but I know Gouging Fire gets some EQ stuff, so that could be a thing. Late game Moltres looks good. Is there any T-Wave on this team? That'd be kind of cool. I don't see any, but I think there was because right now there's that Fluttermane with T-Wave spam going around, and then the Moltres just goes for the Fiery Wraths and just gets, because it's a middle speed tier, right? It's only 90 speed, so having a spread move that could just flinch both sides, like a 30% chance, plus the paraflinch stuff, I love it. So nice. Pheasantipity, I haven't seen it have a lot of success, but I do believe in this Pokemon. It's kind of like a middle of everything. Like it sticks around longer than you want. Like if you let this thing stick around longer than it should, it starts getting stat drops, poisons, things like that. Toxic Chain's really annoying. Technician, less likely, but the spread moves against D-Gleam that stab, Icy Wind, you got your Sludge Wave? Does it get Sludge Wave? Acid Spray is really nice too. All of these moves getting a chance to get a toxic poison. I do like it. And then you have with the Aurora Veil, it does make things a little harder to take down. Yeah, I kind of like it. A little bit of Toxic Stall on this team. Okay. Rhydon, I do think it's nice as well. Protects your Ogerpon after it's teared with the Lightning Rod. The Articuno as well. Not like you're really hitting it. And the Moltres. Okay, so you got the two birds over here. Nice. And then again, it's just an Eviolite user. There's only one on the team, so I like it. Saving its item for not spreading around items. I like it. So that item it's his. The Rhydon's, it's his. So I love it. And then you've got the rock, and you have the ground coverage, which I think most teams need. Another quad weakness. You got 1, 2, two on the same Pokemon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quad weaknesses with the Slitherwing, the Rhydon, the Articuno, the King Gambit, the Ninetales. That's quite a bit. I do like the squad though. I think that this is a team that you're gonna have a hard time prepping against, because there's so many ways it can go at you, and it's like, do you stop the screens? Do you stop the setup? Do you stop the weather? Do you have a Trick Room setter on this team? No, we do not. So that Rhydon is... It's all right. I don't mind it. It's bulky enough with the Eviolite. It can take a hit and just go. But I do think that if you can grab a Pokemon on this team that sets Trick Room and can paralyze things, I think that'd be fantastic. I would love it. Yeah, but I would give this... Honestly, I'd probably rate this team... Is it low A? It's got... But it doesn't have Fake Out, I guess. Doesn't have a Trick Room setter. I gotta put it in B, right? Like, it's still good. Battle Room. It's funny, I'm writing it down manually right now, but I'm probably going to put graphics on the screen with it. But yeah, because everybody loves tier lists, right? So yeah, I would put that one. Bwenty, we have this team here. Looks like we got our first Trick Room team with Psyspam. There's always one. We didn't see them do particularly well in the WDL, but let's see if Bwenty grabbed the Pokemon that he needed for success. I do see the Ribombee on this team, which actually ended up on Michael Derbeste's team. So it looks like there was a trade between the two players. And then the Stonejourner was dropped as well. So we'll go into those a little bit when it comes to a draft plan. And then we'll see exactly what was picked up after. Actually, it looks like there was a trade and there was some free agent pickups. Oh, cool. Neat. So let me see. Indeedee female, if you're going to go for it, you got to get it first, right? I do think if that's your draft plan, you have to pick it first, because if it's not there, there's only one of them. Well, there's two, but only one with redirection. So if you want a specific Indeedee female partner, you need Indeedee female first. Surprising he got Ursaluna so late. Usually Ursaluna is like round 1 or 2. Actually, I think it went undrafted in DDL, which is funny. The league that's going on right now, and I didn't go pick it up because I, for some reason, liked my team better. But I like the Indeedee and the Roaring Moon. I do think you have the two sides of the spectrum. You have your Tailwind with the booster energy. You can stop the Fake Out with the Psychic Terrain, so it's a little protected there. I like these two. Not a bad start. Let's see how it went. Ursaluna grabbing your Trick Room Sweeper. Not bad. Couple physical attackers. Armarouge, not bad. I like it because now you got your Wide Guard, you've got your Expanding Force, you have your weak armor stuff. I like it. The Ribombee, I've seen Ribombee next to Armarouge. You can go for the U-turn into the Terragrass Armarouge. Because it's so fast, you get the Indeedee. Weakness Policy, Psyspam right off the bat because it's so fast. I love it. But it looks like the Ribombee left. Let's see if he replaced it. Stonejourner, my boy. Special place in my heart for Stonejourner. I love this Pokemon. There are the ruinous Pokemon in this format, but Stonejourner can still do the job. It's literally better than Xianpao and Chi, right, guys? It beats both of them, right? It beats both of them, and it has one ability for both of theirs. 100% Stonejourner is greater than Symbol, the ruinous 2 Pokemon. Yes, I said it. You heard it here, folks. I like it. Yeah, the rock slide spam. I don't want to get into it too much. It's too sad to see he dropped it. 2 points? Nuts. 2 points is crazy. Registeel. I've had Registeel before. I liked it. It's, the setup's nice, but I feel like you can stop this Pokemon pretty easily. Good luck stopping it while you're stopping all these other things, so maybe it fits here. Yeah, I don't mind it. It doesn't like Heat Wave, so you got the Wide Guard here. I like it. It's another Trick Room option. Iron Defense Body Press. I like it. Gallade, I think it just fits really nicely on an Indeedee team. Gallade is just a very, very good Pokemon. Another Wide Guard user. I think that Sacred Sword Stab is good on most Draft League teams because there's a lot of setup. Whenever there's a Dozogiri around, it's always good to have a Gallade. Blastoise, we just saw literally single-handedly win a championship for James Beck in the WDL. Fantastic pick. You got your Wide Guard. I think James Beck ran like 15 different sets. It's only 7 weeks. You can't run that many. But it ran 1,000,000 sets. Can't run that many. A lot of different sets on this Blastoise. Ran it in support with Icy Wind, Fake Out. Run it with Water Spout. He ran a coaching set with Assault Vest to win his championship. Amazing. Frostlass. Am I just not a fan? It's I just don't know. Like, I liked this thing when I was in Sword and Shield. Like, it did well because, like, the Icy Wind was important and stuff like that. Like, I guess it's still kind of good now, but I just don't know what you're doing offensively with the Frostlass. Like, we got 80-80. It's got no bulk, 70-70-70. It's probably your Sashmon. There's not a lot. I guess Rabombi Sash, Indeedee Sash, potentially. Stonejourner Sash, probably not though. Gallade maybe, but I feel like a lot of the time you're just going to want the Sash and the Frostmoth, so maybe there's some value in that, knowing that it wants to hold the one item. So, I don't mind it. Yeah, Frostlass. Where would we rate this? Well, we can't rate the team yet. We got to get into the moves. So, it looks like there was a trade. It looks like, hold on one second. Where is it? Oh yeah, okay, there we go. So, it looks like Rabombi and Stonejourner was dropped for the Wo-Chien. So we got a Wo-Chien here, but as we saw, Wo-Chien actually is on another team right now. We've got the Wo-Chien here. I don't really like it that much. It could work, but again, this team doesn't really have a lot of immediate offense right off the bat, other than maybe the Roaring Moon and maybe the Armarouge, but it's a little slower so on the Armarouge. So I'd be concerned a little bit about turn 1 offense with this team, but if Trick Room goes up, you're in a bit of trouble. But you might be able to stall it out. We'll have to see. But then it looks like the last trade was made between Wo-Chien for Brute Bonnet. Same typing. So, and we actually already talked about that already. Who I think it was Derbeste? No. Who Pokeaim? No. Who grabbed it? Skra? Yeah, it was Skra grabbed it. I think I said Michael grabbed it. But Wo-Chien. So it looks like Skra and bwenty made a trade before the season started. I think they'll both be very, very happy with it. I think Brute Bonnet fits on this team nicely. I don't know if I like the team. Again, I've done videos where I'm just like, it's too much one way. I think this might be too much one way. I think you've got the pieces maybe, but it's just too one-dimensional. And that's not because I don't like the player or anything. It's just, in my experience, when I've seen teams like this, they haven't particularly done well. So I think that I'd probably rate this one in maybe low C. No, it'd be above Fede. Yeah. Let me see. So let's do bwenty. Yeah, so that's bwenty. All right, so the next team we're going to get into, we only got 2 left, so stick around. Thank you very much for sticking around if you guys have so far. It's been a lot of fun going over these teams. It's been a lot of great, strong teams so far, but let's get into one of the players that I think is going to do one of the better, have one of the better results this season. We've got JoeUX9. I think it just really comes down to time. I feel like time really determines a player's success. I know that Wolfie lost a few games in a row, or a couple games in a row when we just had no time, and he was just like, I think he played 3 games in 3 days or something like that, maybe won one of them. So it's really tough. So we got to see who has the time. Let's see if Joe drafted a successful team. It looks like we've got Iron Hands, Landorus Therian. Hold on. Do we have a second Lando? You know what's funny? I actually thought I saw Lando already. Did I not? Yeah, Skraw's got it. Hold on, who's got the special one? I need to go find this one. Hang on 1 second, guys. All right, guys, so we got JoeUX9's team right now. Just fixed the roster. I actually had a mistake right there. But we got Iron Hands, Landorus, Arcanine, Hisui. I think these are all Pokemon he likes to play. Sinistcha, Grimmsnarl, Milotic. There's your 6 every single week. Not bad, right? You could bring that 6 every single week and do just fine. You got your fire, your water, your grass. You have your disruption, your screens with the Grimmsnarl next to the Iron Hands. I love it. The Lando for natural offense, the Arcanine for natural offense, your redirection with the Sinistcha, your healing with the Sinistcha. I love it. I think so far this 6 fantastic. Iron Hands, great way to start off your draft, knowing that you're picking 2 picks later, because it's just the last player of the draft gets to double pick and then you get to go again. So Iron Hands, Landorus, it looks like this was the plan. I think this is a great plan to start off. You have your Fake Out, your physical offense, your Trick Room Sweeper. Then you have your Landorus that can do a lot of different things with its offense. I love it. Kind of opens up, and it also switches in on the hands really well with the ground moves. So nice pivot there. It's also a nice pivot for the next pick, Arcanine, Hisui. Yeah, I like this Pokemon a lot. The Rock Slide, the Stab Rock is really nice. You got to watch out for the quad weaknesses, but I do like the Sinistcha next to it. Sinistcha offering a little bit of healing, the Rage Powder, so it's really hard to use those water moves and those fighting moves and those ground moves into the Arcanine when you could just redirect with the Sinistcha. So Safety Goggles, probably the way to go. Maybe if Joe finds out what the items are, he might just Terra the Arcanine, or maybe safely Terra. I'm not sure how exactly he's going to play it. If he wants to live risky, just go for damage and then learn from game 1 and then just, oh, the item's there. Okay, great. I also feel like this team's really hard to run Safety Goggles against because it's just Rage Powder, you know? Maybe Terra Grass in front of an Arcanine, Jay, come on. I'm like, maybe Terra Grass, no, not on this team. And then the Landorus with like the Sludge Bomb stuff, no, probably not happening. The Grimmsnarl too with the T-Wave spam, I love it. T-Wave, screens, Fake Out. You can run this thing offensively as well. Frisk is nice too on the offensive ones. Me like you. Love Grimmsnarl. Getting it round 5 too is kind of nice too. Usually this goes early if it does go. Milotic, I had it for a bit too. Obviously, it's probably a deterrent with the competitive to stop the snarls, the intimidates, and so on. It does like to set up and be really, really annoying with those coil strats and the hypnosis. You do need 2 coils to make hypnosis hit every time, but only 1 to make muddy water to hit all the time. So I do like Milotic. Unfortunately, it doesn't hit as hard as you want right out of the box, but I do like it. It does belong on some bulky teams. Yeah, maybe we'll do like an assessment at the end. I think the Milotic fits here. Orthworm, it's okay. Is it real? It's kind of real, I guess. You know, switch in for the Arcanine. Okay. Maybe some Iron Defense stuff. I'm shaking my head like this. I'm not a huge Orthworm fan. I just roar it, and I usually don't have issues with it. But back row Orthworm, maybe eliminate things that can take it out. Maybe you're just facing physical attackers. You know, go for a defensive Terra with the Orthworm. Now you're immune to the ground. Go for Electric Terra. Now you can't be touched super effectively. Not bad. And then the Coughing over here. Coughing, Slacking. Looks like these were drafted together. Maybe the Regigigas and the Slacking were both available in the same tier at this point. So you grab the Coughing first. That's a little cheaper than the Wheezing. It does work. I've seen it. And the Slacking just hits so hard. So that could be the way to go. And then the Riolu. I do like the coaching. Coaching into the Iron Hands. Coaching into the Arcanine. Coaching into your Orthworm. I like it. Coaching into the Slacking. I like it. You know? I feel like you might be able to do something like Riolu Slacking, go for the coaching into the Slacking, and then the next turn when you're about to loaf around, you switch in the Coughing and then you get a head off. So that could be something along the lines of that. The Yanma, not a real Pokemon. I'm sure, I think someone had, I think Aaron Zhang had it in WDL and he just never used it. He never would. It's a mascot. It's all right. Are we concerned about the special defense and how freaking low it is? There's only 1 AV to go around and there's only 1 Milotic on the team. So is this something that you have to watch out for? Is there Snarl spam? No. Arcanine, I guess. Yeah, that might be something you have to button up. I know that screens definitely help out with it a little bit. You're okay on the physical side. You got Intimidate. You've got your physical walls, yada, yada. Decent defense across the board with your, what's it called? Your Orthworm, your Iron Hands. And I mentioned Intimidate. Sinistra is pretty bulky too. Yeah, maybe he gets away with it with screens. That's probably the way it goes. I think Grimmsnarl players love running it most weeks, leading it, getting the screens up, and just worry about the rest later. So, and the fake out too, I like it. So, where would I rate this team? I'm putting a lot of things in B right now. Yeah, let's put it in B. I like this team. I just feel like it's again, it's got a bunch of stuff. It's got switch-ins and stuff. It's a very VGC-esque team, you know what I mean? But it doesn't have like a lot of hyper offense on it, and I do think most teams want at least one hyper offensive mode. There's no Tailwind. I just realized that, except for Yanma. So, but there is Trick Room. There's some bulk. Okay. I don't know if there's enough bulk to just go pure bulk on this team, so I might rate this one probably low B. I think so. JoeUX9. Yeah, I think that's safe to say. But the last team that we're going to go into is Uzi. It looks like he drafted something and then dropped it, but let's see. But it looks like we got a bunch of modes on this team, which is really nice. We got the Raging Bolt to start the draft. Raging Bolt, Annihilate to start off the draft. Not bad. I think those are two really, really good Pokemon, both weak to Fairy. So let's see if he buttons it up a little bit as the draft goes on. Then he grabbed the Dondozo. Definitely see where he's going with this one. Surprised that nobody wanted to grab it. I know it hasn't done particularly well in draft because it's not okay, but you have to like commit a lot of resources to stop it. So that's one thing. But he ended up getting the Geary Surprise and the Mousehold. So we do have your modes there. You got the Mouse Ape, you've got the Dozo Geary, and then he grabbed another duo in the Weezing Gigas. Cool. The Raging Bolt fits with a lot of that stuff. It's just a good Pokemon that doesn't really need a partner, but can work with the Weezing, can work with the Mousehold. And while you're trying to stop all these other things, the Raging Bolt's just sitting there doing a lot of damage. One of the best Pokemon on Reg F right now. Moltres, it looks like he dropped the Fire type. Dropped it. Not sure why. Let's see why. The Impidimp, not a real mon. Fake out. Screens and not much else. I think that's about it. Maybe it has a place. Maybe. Terraghost, you got your Light Clay or something like that. Get your screens up. One screen up. You're not surviving for the 8 turns. Or you go for Focus Sash and get 2 up. Maybe. We'll have to see. Mudbray, not a real Pokemon. But again, mascot picks. Whatever. You gotta love them. But let's see what the team ended up as after that. So it looks like he grabbed the Fletchinder, grabs his Tailwind. Well, replaces his Tailwind from the Moltres because it's... I do like Moltres in draft, but looks like he decided to go a different way. The Toedscruel here, I think he was actually wanting to grab Toedscruel, but then the draft wasn't going the way he wanted, so he figured he'd just make a transaction after. Toedscruel, obviously the Weezing Gigas. Toedscruel works really well in the same team. Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Toedscruel, Weezing Gigas, all work on the same team. I think that's like 5/6 of a VGC team right there. And Toedscruel is just really nice too. It's a Trick Room setter. There are no other Trick Room setters other than the Toedscruel, so let's see if that might be an issue for him. I feel like having it is just really nice. So, but again, you've got modes. Everybody come get your modes. Like, look at them all. Like, you've got your Mouse Ape, Dozo Geary, Regigigas, Weezing. You have your Toedscruel, Weezing. And then Fletchinder you have next to anything you want to go fast. So, not bad. You can go for maybe some dual wing beat stuff into your Annihilate, because it's not super strong, just to get the Rage Fist boost, 150 power right off the bat. Maybe like a weakness policy on the Annihilate could be kind of cool. I can see that. But I think this team is just going to be really solid all around. He definitely knows his VGC now. Who's been talking to this guy? Who's been talking to the singles player about VGC strategies? Stop it. He owns singles. Don't let him own doubles too. Sorry, Uzi, I love you. But anyway, so where would I rate this team? It has to be pretty high, doesn't it? Like, it's got Tailwind, doesn't have Trick Room, but look at all the modes it has. Look at all the stuff it has. Like, even guys, I haven't even mentioned the offense on Mousehold. Like, you could just go ahead and run the Technician. You run the Wide Lens Mousehold. Terra Normal, well, I guess Terra Normal, so you don't want to discuss like telegraph what you're trying to do. Just go for like Terra Ghost Mousehold and you go for your whatever, right? Like, you know what actually be really nice now that I think of it? It'd be nice to have Frisk on this team. Impidimp's not real. I'm not accepting that. Frisk on this team would be really nice to find out where the Rocky helmet is, because Maushold just dies to Rocky helmet. But guys, you have your Maushold Annihilape. Annihilape's usually the threat in that combo, right? You've got your Dondozo Tatsugiri, obviously. You have your Regigigas, super, super strong. Maushold's sitting there right by itself. It can nuke most things. So I feel like if you can go for like switcheroo stuff, maybe some trick stuff, find a way, like maybe knockoffs, find out where some items are in an early game. Maushold could be a game 2 and a game 3 just menace, right? I remember when I first started doing draft in Gen 9, and Maushold was just phenomenal. It was, I think it was someone's first round pick. And it was just like, yeah, this thing's really good. And Friend Guard is really good next to many things. Technician with the Population Bomb. The Wide Lens one is really scary. Safety Goggles if you're running into like a Spore user or whatever it might be. Redirect it. Like, you know, there's so many different ways you can run Maushold. You can beat up your Annihilape. All this team is missing is a Justified mon. Honestly, like, go get Growlithe. Dude, drop the Mudbray and grab Growlithe. Why not, right? Get another bad fire type. But anyway, so where am I going to rate this team? It has to be low A, right? It's too good, right? This team is too good. Like, I'm going to put it in low A. So it's probably top 4. Top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top 5 teams. So let's go Uzi. Cool. So I guess that's it. If you guys stuck around for the whole video, hats off to you. If you guys like listening to me talk for that long, I definitely owe you some respect. I wouldn't listen to me for that long, but guys, I really hope you enjoyed it. The analysis of the drafts. I am not an expert. I just play one on TV. I'm around draft a lot. I do like to talk. I can communicate, I guess, a little bit, and maybe just to kind of paint a clearer picture on what teams can do if we're going to actually see them. I know in the WDL, I did some predictions of what teams might come on a weekly basis. I will be doing that as well. I'll be going over all of the matchups in a video probably next week, because I don't think their videos are coming out until the week after. I think it's the 17th is when the season starts. So this is coming out probably on the 8th next week, before the weekend starts, before the videos come live. I'll do like a little bit of a match preview for all 6 matches every single week. And then I'm probably not gonna, guys, I'm so sorry, I'm not going to react to all 6 matches every single week. I died when I was doing WDL. I committed to doing it. I did 4 matches a week. I reacted to all of them. People were loving them. I enjoyed doing them, but I just do not have any time for it. I wish I did. I just don't. So here's what I'm going to do. A little bit of a spoiler for what's going to go on. So in week 1, before the weekend starts, I'm going to do a poll of which matches you guys want me to watch and react to, and then the highest votes will get reacted to early in the week following. So you have a chance to watch the 2 perspectives of all the matches. There's going to be 12 videos you're going to have to watch before. Watch them all. They're all going to be great. All these players are fantastic. The rosters are fantastic. The pedigree is insane in this roster, or in this league. I am going to run out of time watching these matches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys decide which matches you want me to react to, and just in case you high what's it called, subscription count players are just gonna like super vote and just throw the ballot box, you know, all your ballots in that box. If a team was actually voted in the previous week to react to, I'm going to exclude them the next week. So that way, at least you won't be seeing the same reactions every single week. So anyway, hey guys, thank you very much for watching. That is it for this one. Thank you very much. Watch I think the players are going to be actually coming out with their team breakdowns and what they were thinking. I can't wait for those. I did mine, but I didn't draft the team. So, but anyway, so we've got the season starting soon. Check out all these channels. I'll probably have all the coaches and their channels down below. Go subscribe to all their channels and put the notification bell on so you're notified of when the matches come live. I'm not sure exactly how Michael's going to be promoting it. I know he's big on X right now, and that's where he usually communicates. So go follow him on Twitter as well. I might not have that below. I'll just have the players on their YouTube, but I follow him. Go find him, Michael Derbeste. But again, special thank you to all the players for actually agreeing to do this season. It's a lot of fun. I know we don't have much time until Pokemon Champions comes out, but this is going to tide us over. And guys, Christmas came twice. We get to watch 2 leagues with amazing players, amazing content creators, and I can't wait. So I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.